Week 8, though, the Week 8 Sunday. Week 8 Sunday headline on Halloween was Attack of the Killer Backups. That's what that one was. 4 backup quarterbacks came up with the dub yesterday. 4 of them. And Geno, I guess, had a little bit more runway because he's been in for the injured Russell Wilson for a couple of weeks now. But others that had to turn to quarterbacks making first career starts yesterday, or action that they did not see coming yesterday, and they all came up with wins. And Geno came up with a dub for Seattle that, boy, did they need. If they were going to lose to Jacksonville at home, going into a bye, to fall to 2-6 in that division, in this conference, in the NFC, where all the best records entering Week 8 resided in the NFL, that would have been a wrap on this season. It wouldn't have mattered how many pins are getting removed from the finger of Russell Wilson this week or not. That would have been it. And they needed that W, and Geno found Lockett and found DK. And, obviously Seahawks fans will be like, that's about a week too late, but it's enough. It's good enough. 3-5, going to a bye, get healthy. Russ, get back, hopefully in time for that Week 10 game against Green Bay, where the season will potentially be on the line, despite this being the longest season ever. And then I will say this. Didn't see this one coming. As you know, it was at this point last week I came on this show and I mentioned it was the lowest point, period, for the Jets that I've seen in forever and a day, if not ever, for the Jets. To be giving up a 50-burger against the Patriots. First 50-burger since the Rich Kotite era, and our buddy actor Bobby Cannavale coined the phrase on our podcast back in the media group days, the NFL media group days 10 years ago, to describe just how bad things can get for the Jets. Kotite bad.
Kotite bad.
You're not fully bad unless you're Kotite bad. And that's what the Jets were last week, giving up 50 to the Patriots, coming off a bye, Zach Wilson getting hurt, Mike White coming in and looking lost. And then comes yesterday. And what did I say last week, Christopher, when I said that the Jets were at the low point, maybe ever? I said, and I used as an example as to how this doesn't mean it can't ever happen, that you can't just say jet gonna jet, because the Bengals are no longer going to bangle.
Well.
Or proved when they went to Baltimore the previous week that they're not the same old Bungles, because they got Burrow and they got Chase and they got Mixon and they got Higgins and Boyd, and they all showed up yesterday. And Mike White joins Cam Newton as the only players in the history of the National Football League to throw for 400 yards in their first career start. Number 5 in your program, number 1 in your heart, New York Jet, Mike White. Come on.
And number 1 on your quarterback depth chart now, too, Rich. Hey.
And I know you guys are going to start trolling on me.
Not trolling,
I know
maybe.
you're going to start trolling on me.
Are you getting your kids Mike White jerseys for Hanukkah?
You know what? I am going to show them this. I'm going to show them this.
Just to remind them that Zach Wilson used to play for the Jets.
Excuse me. Laugh all you want. Laugh all you want, because...
No, I'm happy for you. You finally got a quarterback.
No.
I'm happy for you.
It's been 50 years since Joe Namath. Jets have a quarterback.
I was happy for you all game yesterday. Trust me. I was like...
Because you were using the Jets as inspiration for your own damn situation.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's true, but I was still rooting for you.
I want you to be happy, and Mike White brings you such joy and happiness.
Okay? The bottom line is Zach Wilson can maybe look at this and say, this is the way the offense should look. And I know I'm not going to go here and say that this is the most Jet thing that their backup quarterback that everyone was wondering, including me, why is he even there? Where's the veteran to teach Zach how to do it? Why are we starting from square one if Zach's out?
Right.
Well, square one was looking pretty damn good, and maybe Zach can look at this kid and say, that's the way it should look. And I will not sit here and say it's the most Jet thing to have a backup quarterback in his first career start do something that Zach Wilson can't even do. Because to me, the way it looks to me is that they have the right coaches there. They coached the kid up. They got him ready. They didn't pack it up when the Bengals started scoring points because White turned it over a couple of times. And when they were down 2 scores, they didn't give up in the second half after getting boat raced by the Patriots the previous week. I will say, yes, there are some positives, even though it wasn't Zach Wilson. Then you've got Trevor Siemian, former Jet, like Geno Smith. Hey, man, it's looking good. And Trevor Siemian comes in for a Saints team that needed this dub against the Bucs to prove that everything isn't amazing. That a team needs something to prove after their town is once again almost blown off the map by Mother Nature, forcing them to leave their town for a month. We had Demario Davis on. He's got babies at home, little kids at home, babies at home, infants at home. And that's just probably one of many Saints players that had to go live in Texas and then play their first game in Jacksonville. And we're like, you have something to prove. Well, I'll tell you this. In the same way that we're talking about backups seizing the moment, football, man, can be so damn cruel. Jameis Winston with one of the best opportunities in the National Football League for anybody that's traded teams or has been forced to trade teams because the team has moved on in another direction, and that team is finally now in his house with him getting the start for a team that is 4-2 with an opportunity to beat his former team, and the way he leaves the game is on his own shield in the form of a cart. So friggin' depressing and saddening, and I just send everybody's best here to Jameis Winston. He so does not deserve this. How hard has this guy worked to get back to this point, to get this opportunity, to be there for his team, the leadership that he was showing after they beat the Packers in Jacksonville. He's the one who steps to the microphone and speaks for his teammates first. He's a quarterback talking about the city. They were playing for the city. I mean, he was owning his leadership role, growing into it, and then the football gods sent him out on a cart. And we're waiting to hear the news that I think we're all expecting to hear. But Trevor Siemian, man, especially when crazy stuff is happening, like the defense is forcing fumbles and it winds up as a safety for them, right? And Brady takes that safety and starts using it as momentum and then takes the lead again. How many people thought when the Bucs took the lead late, oh yeah, Simeon's just going to take this down a field and end the game?
No. Nope.
or hold on a minute, the defense, as we know, ended the game, but leave Brady with hardly, with enough time, I should say that, enough time, some interesting play calls by Sean Payton in that red zone, throwing it around as opposed to running it to have Arians burn the remaining timeouts. But that's what Payton does, man. He risks it, just like we hear about the no risk it, no biscuit from Arians. He just puts it out there, pedal the metal, full of adrenaline, full of aggressive play calling, and I'll just leave it up to the defense to stop Tom Brady with 2 timeouts and the field to go. And they picked him off and ended it. But Siemian with that drive to put the Saints up. Very impressive. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.